This is the newly updated 2023 Kia Telluride in adventure-ready X-Pro trim. Today we're going to check out all the features and then put it to the test. That's coming up right now on Driving Sports TV. The Kia Telluride is a very popular three-row mid-size family crossover that packs in a lot of great features. For 2023, Kia expands its lineup with a new adventure-ready trim called the X-Pro. In addition to rugged good looks, it also comes with all-terrain tires, extra ground clearance, and now it can tow up to 5,500 pounds. So is it time to trade in your trusty Toyota 4Runner or Jeep Grand Cherokee for a Kia? Let's take a closer look. The model we're testing today is the Telluride X-Pro Prestige with some options. As you see it here, you're looking at $55,120 US, including destination. Let's start here, the wheel and tire package. I really like that Kia went with an 18-inch alloy wheel. That gives us lots of sidewall, so we're not going to scratch or crack the rim. We're also not going to as likely get a puncture. Now these are wrapped in Continental Terrain Contact All-Terrains. These are a legitimate mild all-terrain, and I really like that they went with this particular tire. Fitment here is a 245/60 R18. Ground clearance has been raised to 8.4 inches, which is up from the standard Telluride's 8 inches of ground clearance. All in all, this is looking pretty good. Under the hood is the same standard 3.8-liter V6. This produces up to 291 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque. It's connected to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and it powers all four wheels through Kia's active on-demand all-wheel drive system. EPA rates economy at 18 miles to the gallon in the city and 24 on the highway. Which is a little weird, because typically when you raise the ride height and you add all-terrain tires, you lose 1 to 2 mpgs. But that's not the case here, or at least that's not what Kia is claiming. Considering this is supposed to be a trail-ready setup, you might expect to find a skid plate to protect the soft bits underneath. Nope, that's just plastic. Oh well, let's check out the back. In the back, you get a power lift gate. Behind the third row, you get 21 cubic feet of cargo capacity. Fold the seats down, and you get 46 cubic feet behind the second row. Fold all the seats flat, and you're looking at 87 cubic feet overall. Some other perks in the back, you also get AC power and DC power. Under the floor is a cargo bin. There's a temporary spare tire located underneath. Let's see what this does. Okay. Pull the seat back. Actually, this isn't bad. I got room for my legs, my knees. I'm 6'1", legs torso proportionate. My head doesn't even hit the ceiling. That's really good. Now over here, I have a USB-C socket for power and a couple cup holders. You know, this isn't bad. And the big sunroof back here actually lets in a little extra light, which is nice. Moving up to the second row. Oh yeah, got lots of room here. I have cup holders, privacy screen. I get a AC power socket, a DC power socket. The only thing I'm really missing here is second row climate control. I don't have any. Oh wait, there is climate control. It's up there. Oh, I guess that means that short kids can't reach it. Fan, temperature, nice. But I do also get USB-C sockets back here, little places to hang things, and a little pocket to put things in. As far as the seat goes, I can move it back and forward. It's comfortable, has an adjustable armrest. It also has heat and cooling. Very nice. And moving on up to the first row, power this on. Ooh, you know, I do like these dual displays kind of parading as one big curved screen. I think that's really nice. We have a digital cluster here that gives lots of good information. Over on the right side, we have the infotainment that is, of course, a touch screen. I can flick through various options here, and they even give me physical keys to quickly jump between the sections, which is really nice. I actually really like this setup. I think not only does it look good, it's also very functional. And you don't have to use the touchscreen. You can actually use voice commands for a lot of the prompts. Navigate to the nearest coffee shop.
Would you like guidance to this location?
It actually found the coffee shop that was near my house and navigated to it. Very nice. Of course, you can also control XM satellite radio with this display, and most important, it doubles as a rear view camera with a surround view as well. And I can even go into a 3D mode if I want to look all around the car. Cool effect. Now, one thing that I did point out here is that it has physical buttons to jump between the different screens. I love how Kia has not gotten rid of physical buttons. We have lots of them. Below the touchscreen buttons, we then have aircon, regular traditional buttons, and this has dual zone climate control up front plus a third zone in the back. Below that, I get these little toggles for seat warmers, coolers, and the seats are very comfortable. I get power adjustments over here with a lumbar control. They're both heated and cooled. Further on down, we have a charging pad for the mobile device. Now, this does not support wireless CarPlay, which is a little weird. I really wish that Kia and Hyundai would get on the bandwagon and provide that. Right now, just their lower trims provide it. If I want CarPlay, I have to plug in, and I can't use the USB socket up here. I have to use the old USB-A one. For some reason, they do not give CarPlay functionality to the USB-C socket, which is so weird. Once I plug that in, I can then answer a couple questions, go to CarPlay, and I get a really nice widescreen CarPlay. This looks fantastic. And then, of course, yeah, normal CarPlay looks good. Now, the steering wheel is wrapped in leather. It feels nice. It has lots of buttons here. This does have lane tracing as well as adaptive cruise control, so that'll be nice on longer drives. In the early days of Kia, I really didn't like their interior designs, but I think they've really nailed it with this one. I like the different textures, the curves, the materials. I think it just comes together in a really nice, cohesive, yet interesting package. Now, of course, the most important thing here is what we have down here. This is the mode controller for the various drive modes. And the funny thing is that even though this is an off-road focused Kia, it does not have an off-road mode. It has comfort, sport, smart, eco, snow, and then center lock. Center lock is as close as you're going to get to an off-road mode with this vehicle, and that's just weird. In the past, Kia and Hyundai have offered off-road modes for various trims in other parts of the world. I don't know if it's just a US thing this year or if they've, what their plan is, but the fact is, in the United States, you can only get it with these modes. Oh, in terms of active safety, of course, we have all the hits. We have collision mitigation, blind spot warning, rear cross traffic alerts, etc., etc. Okay, enough talking about the interior. It's time to take this for a drive, and then we're going to hit our off-road course. The Kia Telluride is rather popular, but it is still selling half as many as Toyota moves in Highlanders every year. Highlander sells around 200,000 units. This one's closing in on about 100,000 units. And I think the main popularity there is just the fact that it's Toyota versus Kia. Toyota is just bigger, it's more popular, and of course it has that reputation, that gold luster reputation as being like the most reliable vehicle you can buy. Kia still has a little bit of an uphill battle in that department, as does pretty much every other car maker that comes along as well. Out onto the highway, and oh yeah, there's that V6. Get plenty of power out of this thing. I really like the look of this new design. I feel like it's a lot friendlier, and it also is less anonymous. I don't know, and there were also just a few weird lines on the old version. But this one I think actually looks rather, handsome. Now there are lots of drive modes here, of course. Our main review today is going to focus on the off-road performance because this is the X-Pro, which is the trail-ready version. But I think before we hit the dirt, it's kind of important just to kind of get reacquainted with this vehicle, and we're just going to do it on the side roads just outside of town here. Along the highway, it's quiet. It has an adaptive cruise control system that's actually quite good. I just set the speed, set the pace, and now I'm following the vehicle in front of me. It'll read the lines, it'll keep the steering wheel centered, and it really makes long distance travel a lot easier. I get this graphic that looks like my Telluride is shooting a laser through an AirPod case. I'm not sure why they didn't put a car there, but it is what it is. So at this point, the vehicle is tracking the lines and also managing the distance between me and the vehicle in front of me. It's very good, and there are other car makers that have similar systems. So, but it is nice to see it here. Now, once that vehicle peels off, we'll then accelerate up to the target speed. Okay. So adaptive cruise control works just fine. Let's take a look at some of the other features here. Like most Kias, this Telluride does have a number of different drive modes. However, because this does not have adjustable suspension, it doesn't have adjustable ride height, it doesn't have a torsion differential, it doesn't have, well, I think you get the point. It doesn't have a lot of things that can be adjusted. So really all it's going to do is adjust the throttle and the all-wheel drive mapping. Now the all-wheel drive is limited because it is a clutch-based all-wheel drive system. Between the front wheels and rear wheels, we basically have a clutch plate that'll manage how much power gets pushed to the back. So you're never going to really have more than 50%. You can theoretically, if both wheels do wheel brake. Anyway, there's a way to get theoretically more power back there, but it's just not really going to happen in everyday scenarios. It is predominantly a front wheel drive setup. Now, they do include a lock button down here, and what that does is it'll send a command to the computer to start with lockup and to try to maintain that lockup as much as possible. But it is not a center locking differential, even though Kia says it is on the sticker. Mechanically, that is not what it is. And that is the hill I'm going to die on. Now, in terms of road handling, I actually rather like the Telluride. It's a nice drive. It has decent power thanks to that V6. Even though it is just standard springs and shocks, they seem to do pretty good. A little on the bouncy side, but overall, pretty nice to drive. So in terms of economy, I've been driving this for the last few days, and I'm averaging about 20 mpg. Now that is not me racing or doing any off-road, that is me just going about my everyday. So yeah, the mpgs that you get out of this thing, they are a bit lower than what the sticker claims in an optimal situation. However, I am not a hypermiler. I do not try to eke out every little mpg out of a vehicle because frankly, I don't find that very fun at all. And if you're not enjoying your drive, what's the point of the vehicle you're driving? If you want a good mpgs and you want power, the only real way to have a lot of power and do it economically is to frankly drive an electric car. So the Kia Telluride, very good for daily driving. Honestly, if you want to buy this for a family vehicle, knock yourself out, it is a good choice. Heck, I might even say it's a great choice. But you don't watch this channel to get my impressions on MPGs and how well I can bring little Billy to the soccer practice. Nope, you want to see the off-road performance, and that is what we are going to do next. We're taking this to our Peninsula off-road course, which is a little challenging, but I think, and I hope, that this Kia Telluride is up to the challenge. Okay, here we go. Let's do this. Slimy. See how well these Continental all-terrains do. So it's a test both of the car and the all-terrain tires, since I don't have a lot of experience with these. Okay, let's check out the course. This first course is an easy one. We call it Chicken Run because my chicken coop is right there and there will likely be a chicken on the course when we run it. What it is basically a number of holes, and these holes will remove traction off of one side of the vehicle or the other. And what happens, because crossovers don't have a lot of wheel travel, the wheel will lift off the ground, which means it has no traction, has zero grip. When that happens, the wheel spins, and that lets all of the power out of the system. What these crossovers do to prevent that from stopping them cold in the water is to apply brake to that wheel, which will then push that power back into the system. The level of that power that it's doing against that brake is what makes all the difference. So keep an eye out for wheels spinning. If they're spinning, they're not working. Okay, well, historically, I don't have a lot of luck with Kias or Hyundais in off-road conditions. I find that their wheel braking technology is very conservative, as in it does hardly any wheel braking at all. So basically you lose all your power outside of a spinning wheel. So I'm going to be very interested to see if this X-Pro has any new tricks up its sleeve. Turn. No problem, and then we're going to align it. Okay, now we're going to approach the small climb. Now the thing here is making sure that we don't scrape the nose. Okay, no problem. Just smooth over. And then let's check that brake over. Oh, that's real close. We are almost rubbing. Okay, made it over that. This is, of course, just the first of many tests. That side-to-side action as we climb out. Okay, pretty good. I haven't even engaged center lock yet. So there's that. Let's move on to the next test. And our next test is going to be the holes. So this is now a set of holes. We have one that's mild and one that's really deep. I'm going to try to get through this without scratching, removing any panels, or destroying anything on the vehicle. So we'll see how this goes. I am concerned about the approach angle. Also, we don't have any underbody protection, but this is just mostly dirt, so I think that that's okay if we do lay the engine down on top of it. For this, I am going to engage the center lock because that is reasonable. You can see the two holes there. We have the shallow one on the left first. Now this is a test both of the tires as well as the vehicle's articulation and ability to shift power left and right. Okay, so at this point I'm adding throttle, I'm letting the wheels spin, letting it do its work. Okay, trying to do it smoothly. Whoa! Fun. That's why you don't want to go too fast, because if you go too fast, you're going to slam it down much quicker. Hearing some rubbing underneath. Can we get through this? Can we climb out of the hole? Yes, and it's successful. Nicely done, Kia. I guess we're going to move on to the final test, and this is going to be our logging road. So this is a road that is designed to be similar to some of the worst logging roads that you'll find in Washington State. We're using the same surface material, and the climb is roughly about the same. It's about 13 degrees. It's a very nice little drive in the woods. Okay, they're going to thread through the trees, line up, and I will tell you a little bit about this course. So this course is designed to mimic logging roads in the Pacific Northwest. It is made of rocks that are called 4x8s because they're a maximum size of 4 inches on one side and 8 inches on the other. And they are on top of dirt. There's no intermediate layer. So you go from traction on rock to mud, and then up there we've even damaged the road with some boulders and a hole. So in other words, we're gonna have some fun. Oh, and pay particular attention to these roots. Roots are very slippery. This one in particular can be really gnarly. And then there's the chickens, but they get out of the way. Okay, we have a chicken on the course. I think it's too close for missiles. We're gonna have to switch to guns. Fried chicken tonight. No, I like my chickens. Okay, so we're in drive. I'm gonna keep it in smart mode. I have center lock for the power transfer clutch, and we're gonna go drive. So I don't have any other options here, and it's really weird to be doing an off-road test without really any features that I can engage. I mean, there's one button that I hit. Will it be enough? I have no idea. So we're coming up to that stump on the right. That can be a traction issue. That's really a test of these tires. Oh yeah. I gotta be careful of kicking rocks up. And obviously I don't wanna hit a tree either. So we're just gonna slowly work our way up. So this has an 8-speed automatic transmission. The crawl ratio is not great. I mean, it's okay. It's kind of what you expect from these type of vehicles. Let's see if we can just slowly creep over this rock. And I have to be careful setting it down because there's no underbody protection here. So I'm putting the brakes on before we slam it down. Okay, and now we have the big challenge up ahead, which is a hole on the left. I want to put my wheel on the rock on the right. I'm gonna go check clearances actually. I think we're okay on clearances. This rock is obviously a concern. Put front camera back on. For what little help it does. Come on, shift that power around. I'm not getting any power shifting. I'm not feeling anything, man. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna switch to snow to see if that gets more aggressive. It's the only option I have as far as power transfer adjustment. Come on, it's not doing it. Medium throttle. It's just not doing it. It's like it's not giving anything here. I'm full throttle now. Nothing, it's just gonna overheat. Okay, well, it was good up until it wasn't. As you can see from the outside, it is doing a really good job of actually applying quite a lot of brake to that outside spinning wheel, but it's just not enough to get us up and over this final obstacle. I would say this is way more aggressive than earlier Kias that we've tested, but it's still just not quite there yet. If you do venture to more remote trailheads, you might encounter a road like this, and with the Telluride, it's just not gonna get you there. So is this an X-Pro? Nah, I'd probably call it an X-meh. So a vehicle like this is fine for most intents and purposes. I mean, if you have, for around town, this is a great vehicle. But once you start throwing all-terrain tires on it, I think buyers expect more. I expect more. It's just digging itself in over here. Have not ruined a wheel yet, so that's good. Move that rock so we don't ruin a wheel. We're gonna have to go with plan B, which is out this other side. I'm gonna try to get out of here on a bypass without hitting trees. Use our way down so we can go left here. We do have a big rock still in the middle of the course that we gotta worry about. Hopefully there's enough ground clearance here. Oop, gotta keep a foot on throttle and brake. Hopefully we don't high center on this rock. We're good, we're not high centering. Okay, we're gonna climb out the dirty way. Oop, slight bump on a control arm, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Okay, so that is my look at the 2023 Kia Telluride X-Pro. I would call it kind of more, maybe not X-Pro, maybe X-Enthusiast. Oh yeah, that doesn't sound right. Anyway, it is a nice vehicle. I like the all-terrain tires. I like the overall setup here. It just didn't go far enough for the name Pro. If you're gonna put Pro on something, you better have the essentials. Underbody protection and much better power shift from left to right. This one just couldn't deal with something that was even like modestly challenging. Something that I have to note, did not give much of an issue to a Subaru Forester. It scampered right up. Go forward a little bit. Okay, oh, there we go, we're rocking. Oh, can it lift this whole vehicle up and out of the hole? Just keeping the throttle in, it's figuring it out. I'm just keeping the throttle in. Oh, we did it. So, yeah. For Driving Sports TV, I'm Ryan Douthit. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you again right here real soon. Please make sure to hit subscribe, hit like, post a comment below. All of those things help amplify our video so more people can see what this Telluride is capable of.